I gotta say this, since Fastlane, this Raw, and this SmackDown, I have not seen NXT yet. Haven't seen it yet. So maybe I'll feel a little better watching that as well. I'm happy seeing Impact. Now, admittedly, I couldn't find a stream, and I was getting really frustrated because I couldn't find one. And I was telling myself, you know what, fuck this, forget it. There ain't nothing to do, and I'm not going to do the review. And then I thought, you know what, wait. There's some sites that usually have this up ahead of time because usually they would get aired somewhere else. So I looked and I thought, I did find one. That's the reason why I'm doing it now, because if I didn't find it, I couldn't review it. And I thought, you know what, let's watch it. That's what I'm telling myself. Let's just watch and get it over with. And then we can do our review. I am so glad I listened to myself, because I was shocked at this show. This show was easily above average, and it was good. This wasn't all about the wrestling. It wasn't. This was about building the characters as much as building for the wrestling and any type of angles they're doing. Getting this type of content is something that feels really good. There's so much content, and I know a lot of times they give us way too much content and they don't give it in great proportions. But whoever's writing this right now, at least at this moment, has written it well enough that it worked. This show actually worked with, yeah, a lot of content, but not like 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag. Like, they couldn't give us everything we needed. They did it in proportion. Except when it came to the Feast and Fire that was on the global... Why do they do this? Why do they make 10 to 12 minutes of dead air showing the Global Wrestling Network and Feast and Fire on it? You could have given us even more. Look, I understand they need to promote the Global Wrestling Network. I understand it. You could do 5 minutes of Global Wrestling Network. I'm cool with that. But why do you got to do 12 minutes of it? 12 minutes. It was 15 minutes in until it was almost 27 minutes. Well, I didn't want to look at an old Feast and Fire match. I've seen that match. I wanted to see this. Why did they give us 12 minutes? Generally, that's one of only 2 critiques I give for this show. Other than that, the rest of the show was good. Look, we open with the intro for Feast and Fire. And that was good to see that it was being announced. I think it was JB, the last thing he did, his last tapings. And it's good to see him there one last time, since now he's at WWE and probably on NXT. But it was good that he did that last recording because it's the mainstay. Feast and Fire to be announced has to come from JB. Unless that was somebody else. I don't remember clearly. I'm just kind of blanking. But still, it was okay. When it came to Fallah versus Sami Callihan, it wasn't the match that was the most important thing. It was Eddie coming back, and damn! The match was okay, but damn, once Fallah got beat and was about to get beaten down, Eddie comes out and you could see, it's bad. His face is bad, but the lighting on his eye, you could see the images in my face. It looked like his eye was black. But in actuality, his eye didn't turn black inside. It was still a normal color, but the lighting on his eye, that means this section, you can see my face, this section of his face, like along here, was a big lump where my finger is, like this. That's how far over it was over his eye. So you actually thought his eye was black. Damn it, that was bad. Woo! But it's good to see he does still have his sight. And of course, they're not going to do anything because he can't wrestle with his eye like that. But it is good to see they are trying to promote it. Mind you, I would rather see Callihan not use an actual bat anymore and use a rubber one. Why couldn't he get a rubber bat? Why? Why does he have to use an actual bat? Get rid of the damn thing. I don't want to see someone get hurt accidentally again. Please. Alright, the smaller segments throughout the night was actually pretty good. Seeing Allie with Kiera Hogan, I want to see Kiera Hogan have a feud with Allie. I want that. Maybe that's what they're setting up for. Kiera Hogan being nice and then trying to find a way to get a match with Allie, and then Allie turning heel. I want to see Allie turn heel. That's what I want. And you know what? Seeing Braxton Sutter trying to play to Allie because, hey, she's champion now. He's trying to get into a good graces. It makes sense. He ain't getting anywhere. He is a heel. He's trying to be greedy. So now he's trying to get with Allie. But now you see Kiera Hogan. Maybe that means Allie's about to turn heel. And if she turns heel, we know Cherry Bomb can be nasty when she wants to be. Yes, the real person who plays Cherry Bomb is a sweet, wonderful person. But it doesn't mean when she was on Shine or any of the other wrestling promotions, she didn't play a heel. Because she did. At least one time or another. So we know she can do it. So this is good to see. Hopefully, a progression of her going up to finally being a heel. And everyone loving her right here and hating her like this. That's what I want to see. I want to see if Allie can pull off a heel on nationwide and international television. That's what I want to see. Now, Jimmy Jacob, the Congo Kong, and this made me happy. I don't know how long this will last, but seeing Father, oh my goodness. Seeing Mitchell there, Father James Mitchell, the original handler of Abyss. This is what I've been wanting. If anyone knows that I've been saying this for quite a while, and I don't know if this will last. I'm begging, I'm pleading. They hired him back. They hired him. I had to say with my thick voice, hired him back to Impact Wrestling to handle Abyss, because Abyss has been directionless for years. Yeah, he had it really good when it came to Decay. But then he also had it good when it came to Joseph Park. But since in between those times, he's been no direction whatsoever. And we need him to have a direction as Abyss. I want him to stay. I'm begging they made him stay. This makes perfect sense seeing brother. You see I'm botching because Father Mitchell's, I did not know how good Father Mitchell's was on the mic. That man will put most of the roster of the WWE to shame. He will easily rival Paul Heyman. And I know you're going to say, dude, no one can rival Paul Heyman. The old Paul Heyman, Paul Lee, dangerously, yes. No one can rival him. Now, Paulie is now Paul, the Advocate. He hasn't been spontaneous in over 2 years. Very rarely you see him be spontaneous, unless he's belittling the fans. And that's very rare in between. Father Mitchell will basically wipe the floor with Paul. Because Paul sucks ass right now. I mean, I still love Paul. When he gets out of that character and really lets it go, he can still perform. But now he's boring. And Father Mitchell made it so sweet. And then Abyss comes out. Has a quick fight. And he says Father Mitchell says he wants a Monsters Ball match. This is different because it's now Father Mitchell that's announcing it, not Abyss. That's the reason why it feels fresh and new, because it's not Abyss doing it. It's Father Mitchell, his handler, doing it. And if Father Mitchell is back handling Abyss, and if they write for Abyss properly and write for Father Mitchell properly, we will not be bored for a while. But this is still a question. They're going to write them right. Now, the segment with... Well, I'll say this briefly. When it really comes to having Lashley deal with Brian Cage, if they write it properly, this will be a good kind of feud. Particularly if they build it up into Slammiversary. Because that will be the next pay-per-view that's going to come up. And I hope they don't put it on TV. They actually do a real pay-per-view and they build up Lashley versus Brian Cage. I don't care if they have to tag together and then they get frustrated, begin to fight one another. They have to keep them separated. I don't care. Just build up into Slammiversary. Give us something a couple of months in advance. I will be glad to see it. I want to see it. I know you're saying, dude, they do that in August or something. Yeah, they could do that in August. Build it up. I don't care if it takes 4 or 5 months to get it done. Get it done. Come on. Now, what do we got here? Eli Drake firing Chris Adonis. I'm alright with it because now Eli can be Eli. And now let's just lead into the match that everyone cares about, Feast and Fire. Now, we already know what happened with EC3. It's just we didn't know what briefcase number it was and how the match was going to perform. Now, the match was good. EC3 was good. I loved it. But in the end, we got EC3 getting briefcase 1. Petey Williams got 2. No, wait a minute. Eli Drake got briefcase 1. I'm sorry. And EC3 got case 3. Moose got case 4. And Petey Williams got case 5. Now, I wish they would mix it up a little bit. Let the X Division go to Eli Drake. Or the Moose, for that matter. That would be a surprise. I wouldn't mind seeing one of those guys having to go up against Seidel, particularly what just happened to Seidel, showing his... It's in my face! What the blue fuck was that? That's the other critique that I have for this show. What? Many people were wondering, who could it be? Could it be Brother Love? Could it be that that we got the Brother Love back? That we got I forgot his name, Bruce Pritchard back as Brother Love. Could it be Diamond Dallas Page? That would have been so cool. Could it be Jeff Jarrett? Unless he's working with the WWE, they could have done something short with Jeff Jarrett. I mean, I'm not saying that would be the wisest thing, but they could have done it. They used Josh Matthews. Josh Matthews, who I saw on YouTube a video saying pretty much Triple H punking out Tough Enough season 1. Well, Tough Enough. But it's from season 1. It's Tough Enough, and you can see Josh Matthews there. It's his first appearance on television. He is standing there listening, but not generally saying much. And he gets belittled by Triple H. Going from Tough Enough to now getting the Impact Grand Championship without even breaking a freaking sweat. What the fuck? And you could hear Sanjay Dutt get mad as a mother. And I don't blame him. Yeah, it's a work, but still, I love Sanjay Dutt on the mic. The man just sounds legitimate, even if he's just basic. I enjoyed it. He even did the match for Feast and Fire pretty well by himself until Josh came back. I don't mind. I don't care if anyone hates I don't care if everyone hates Sanjay Dutt on commentary. I'm enjoying him because he's totally different and he's fun. You know why? He's a New Yorker. He grew up in New York. That's my boy. But in the end, I cannot believe that went there. I can't believe they went there. I can't. Why did they go there? Why did it have to be freaking Josh Matthews? But maybe that's the reason why. To piss everybody off that Josh Matthews got the Impact Grand Championship. He will be such a swell freaking head. He's going to drive everybody insane. And maybe that's what they're going for. Instead of having a legitimate guru like Diamond Dallas Page or Bruce Pritchard being Brother Love, you go for Josh Matthews to piss everybody off like he did when he was dealing with JB. That actually worked. JB getting pissed off because of Josh worked, so I'm going there with it. And hopefully it'll work out. It could still go really bad. I want to make this clear. I'm not really fond of this. It could still go horribly bad and it'll piss us off, not in the right way. But if they write it right and Josh doesn't act like a stupid dick and do it wrong, it could work. Finally, the part I'm shocked about, that I was happy to see, that made this before Josh Matthews, before I even saw, I mean, I saw it, but processing Father Matthews, we saw this. Mackenzie and Austin Aries. Seen as a vegan, I already know that. And then AEP comes in and say, I need to talk to him. Could you leave Mackenzie? And she leaves. And I don't think you want to let Paige know you're looking at some new ass. That may get her upset. She sounds like she might be a little bit jealous because of how she acts in real life. Anyway, what do we get? You get AEP coming out, bringing out a cart with wine, which a vegan has no problem with that. That's wine. But then with raw or medium rare meat. I think it was medium rare. I don't eat medium rare. I don't like it. Ugh. I'd rather eat well done or done. That's just me. I don't mind chewing my food. But you see him cutting up meat and trying to serve it to him. And he's pretty much saying, no, I'm fine with some potassium in my mouth, a banana. But this is something you don't normally see in such a classy way, that you see a guy use steak, a meat segment, a meat interview, whatever I'm going to call it. I don't know what I'm going to call this. But you see him doing it in a way that is so classy to honestly infuriate a vegan. This is something you don't see every day. I actually enjoyed it. If this was done by the WWE, they would have botched this shit. But here it looks like it works properly. You're making AEP mess with a vegan in an Austin Aries. Austin Aries is trying to be nice because he wants to knock his face off, but he's holding back because not only is he being nice, he doesn't need to be friendly about how great of a champion is because he got all the money and AEP wants it. No matter how much he says, you know what, I care about respect. I care about dignity. I care about honor. He wants that damn money. And that's what he was betraying. To do whatever it takes to get that money. If he has to insult a vegan by throwing food in his face and grabbing it with a fork and shoving it in his face, he's going to do it. So now, where Austin Aries is already doing great, and I'm interested in him, Alberto, who has been messing with Moose for a while, and I haven't been interested at all, he just became interesting now because he showed a side of himself that we normally don't see. The aristocrat, knowing how to get the right type of food, the right type of wine, I don't drink but I understand it, and throw it in the face of someone like an Austin Aries in a classy but stern way. Now everyone else may not agree with me in this, but I believe this is the best segment I've seen in maybe a couple of years. It was simple, it was effective. And I'm not just talking about Impact. I'm talking about WWE. And believe me, not every WWE segment works, but this one does. I enjoyed this segment, and it made the entire show for me. Even though I have to look past with the Feast and Fire that was on the network for 12 minutes, and Josh Matthews becoming Impact Grand Champion. I still don't feel comfortable about it. I don't know if it'll work. I don't know if he can pull it off. He could. I don't know. But this still made the show for me. Tell me how you feel below. Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace.